Greetings, Vikings, and welcome back to the playthrough. Okay, so for today's episode, I'm pretty much going to be heading back to our Mistlands area, and we're going to start... Well, we're going to move over the rest of our stuff, and we're also going to build up the walls and stuff like that. I am just going to spend a little bit of time in the base for now, just looking at some stuff that we want to take with us. I'm taking some more settling cores and some stone and wood, so that we've got things for smelteries and all that good stuff. Now, for the start of today's episode, I just want to briefly mention a couple of things before we get fully into swing with everything that's going on. So, as you may have noticed, the past few episodes have been a bit shorter in length. I've done anywhere from about 26 minutes to I think 15 minutes was our last episode. And I'll be honest, I think not the last episode, I think episode 103 actually had a pretty decent uptake on it, which was about 20 minutes in length. So I was thinking, for the foreseeable future, the majority of episodes are going to be around the 20-minute mark, if possible. There will be occasions where we'll have episodes that will be a bit shorter, and some will be a bit longer, depending on how long the actual source footage is that I've used. But yeah, I'm thinking we'll stick with the 20-minute mark, roughly, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less, for the time being, just to see how it goes. And one other thing as well is something I've been thinking about since I started doing the playthrough. I believe when I first started, the way I would do recording for audio was that I would record audio for, say, like an hour or two worth of footage, and I'd do an intro at the start of it, and then do an intro an hour later. Then do an outro an hour later, and then for the gaps or the spaces in between episodes, there wouldn't really be an intro for every episode. Whereas shortly after that, a friend of mine said that he thinks it would have been better if I did an intro and outro in every episode, and I just kind of want to get other people's opinions, more the regular viewers than anybody else. But even if you're a new viewer and you have a certain opinion on that matter, then please feel free to let me know. I just want to kind of get a general overview of what people think they would prefer. I've watched a lot of episodic series on YouTube for well over a decade now, and I kind of don't mind it either way, but it kind of depends for me, really. If it's a long-running series, I don't really mind if they don't do an intro for every episode, because with long-running series, you'll probably watch several episodes at once, rather than waiting for it to be released every few days or every week or something. So, yeah, just to get an opinion, or just get an idea of what other people think for changing the intros and outros. So for the next few episodes, I'm not going to do it yet. I'll probably wait till we have some feedback on it first, but let's just say for the next few episodes, I'm doing this intro now, and then I won't do an outro at the end of this episode, and that outro won't happen until the end of the third episode from now. But again, let me know how you feel about that particular thing. Anyway, let's get on with the playthrough. So, as you can tell, we have moved our sap extractor to our new location, our new base, and we've put it on that route right next to our chests. And we've also built a smeltery. We're going to build a second one. Actually, no, we're not going to build a second one. We're going to build a charcoal kiln instead, because we obviously need charcoal. We need to get our basic charcoal and smeltery production going, so that we can start smelting down these scraps and producing coal to turn them into bars. Because we are going to need a fair bit of iron, copper, and we're still undecided about whether we're going to need tin or not. It kind of depends on any crafting or weapons or anything that's needed for the Mistlands, whether or not we'll actually need tin or not. I don't think we will. We would definitely need tin if I wanted to move the cooking stations and stuff over here, if I wanted to build cooking stations here, but in our previous episode I was thinking along the lines of not doing that, just because I think that it's just going to take too much time to build every single crafting thing over here, whereas if we just keep the crafting here to like the bare minimum, so we'll have a forge, we'll have a crafting table so that we can repair armour and gear and stuff like that, and then obviously we'll have the crafting for the Mistlands, but I think for everything else like resting and comfort and cooking and stuff like that, we can just head back to our main base. Because if we bring every single thing over here, we're kind of making our home base a bit redundant. So I still want to use it. It's still a nice place to go back to. Obviously we have our pets and our animals and stuff there, so it would be nice to go back to. Okay, let's start building these walls. Now we're going to keep the walls to one crafting table's area mainly. We'll probably overextend slightly, as we've just done there. That's one thing I have said before, which is that you can actually overextend the crafting table's area if you stand right on the edge of that white line, or the kind of broken white line that's spinning around the table. If you can stand on the edge, you can actually build outside of it. And then obviously you can extend that area by building more crafting tables. We're going to stick with the standard crafting table size for now, and then if we need to increase the size of our build area, we can always put down more crafting tables to extend the fence. I think one crafting table should be enough. Once we've cleared out the majority of stuff in here and then built our actual base, I don't think we're going to need much more space than that. Also, once the whole plan with my base is I want everything to be interior to the base. I don't want to have, say, smelteries and charcoal kiln and all of the crafting tables and stuff like that. I don't want any of those to be outside. I want all of them to be inside. And I believe the durability increase on the black marble stuff that we're planning on using is actually a lot higher than the stake walls, so it'd just be better for us to have the black marble building pieces rather than these. I did actually place down a second crafting table as well, because I wanted to extend this wall out here so that we were nearby some of these things as well, so I almost immediately went back on my original plan. Because there's certain things in this area that I want to make sure we've got inside the fence, so that we're safe when we're chopping them down or building around them and stuff like that. Oh, there's a hare. Get this wall built. Keep it there. Yeah, right. Let's just use the bow on him. Sorry, Mr. Hare. Mr. Wabbit. Thank you for your scale hide and your meat. Ooh, a hare trophy. Nice. That is one decorative thing I'm looking forward to doing when we actually have our base built, which is going to be having trophies of all the Mistlands animals kind of up on the walls around the base. I think that's going to be pretty cool, so we'll do that. There we go, I've almost immediately stepped outside the building zone, so we're going to have to stand here. There we go. One of the things I do prefer doing when it comes to building up walls is just kind of following that white line, because you can then get it to roughly be a circular shape. Obviously, you can't get a perfect circle in Valheim, but you can get as close to it as possible. And, again, you're not extending it, so you don't have to worry too much about putting down more crafting tables and stuff like that. I'm also going to hopefully try and remember to take down crafting tables once we have finished building things that we don't need them for, because, yeah, I want to avoid having the similar thing that we did with our comfort building, which was leaving the crafting table on its roof, which is still up there to this day. That is pretty much a permanent feature now, our semi-floating crafting table. Now with this section here, I was going to just cut off this kind of raised piece, or this raised bit, but I've actually decided to extend the wall into that big jagged rock bit, mountainous bit almost, and just use that as part of the wall as well. Okay, I'm finding it really awkward to put the X on that root. There we go. So we've put the red X on the root that's in our base to indicate that we've got our sap extractor here. We're also going to start cutting down this ancient sword. Might as well get all the pieces from it. Now the ancient sword should be a lot easier to cut down and then have the rest of it kind of fall and break on its own, because there's only a couple of bits actually connected to the floor. Well, I mean, we've pretty much instantly done it there, but I think we have to... It might actually be a thing, I was thinking about this, it might actually be that you have to destroy every piece that's connected to the floor. So there might be some bits that you've... say like a vein of silver or one of these ancient swords. Like this one isn't falling down currently, but it could, because it might be considering this part here that's in the floor as still connected. Oh, maybe not. Okay. That kind of just debunked that theory straight away. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's an intended mechanic or not, but it seems to be quite temperamental as to whether or not it wants to work. Maybe once we've destroyed this part, will it do that? Nope. Okay, let's try this part. Fall down, damn it, you physics-defying sword. I know you're giant, but shouldn't that mean that you're going to be more easily attracted to falling down? Attracted? That you would... There we go. You would fall down more easily. That's what I'm looking for. Perfect. And we've actually filled up our carry weight, so we need to go and dump some stuff. Yeah, I'm really happy with this little area. The majority of the ground is flat. We've got a nice, very nice big walled off area, so we are sort of protected. We've got our ancient root. I really like the way the ancient root kind of peeks over the wall. It's almost like a grasping hand coming over the wall. That's quite nice. Right, let's get smelting, shall we? Iron is probably going to be the most needed thing, so we'll get smelting on that. How much copper do we have? We've got 32. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think we do need some copper for some later crafting with the Mistlands, so it's good to have it. And we are going to rebuild our blast furnace as well. That was the other reason. Oh, I don't know if we've got enough settling cores for that, actually. I think we need 5, not 3. Yep, we're going to have to dump stuff back in the chest and pop home and see if we've got any back in the base. Oh, whoops. Did not mean to kick that. I'm actually going to move this portal and put it right back against this part here, just to kind of maximise the amount of space. This portal will eventually get moved inside our base. Again, pretty much everything is going to be inside our Mistlands building. And I know that I've been hyping up this building a lot since we got here, but I do want it to be an all-encompassing, like, everything building. There we go, that's much better. Sometimes when you're building a portal, when you're building it on sloped ground, you have to jump every time you want to go through it, and it kind of irritates me a bit, because sometimes I like to just... we just did it there as well. Sometimes I like to just automatically run through them, rather than having to sprint jump or jump through them. So I like trying to find a flat area to put it on, so that you can just walk up to it and go straight through. Okay, tons of stone here if we ever need it. We still have all those stone piles. Oh, we haven't got any settling cores there. Well, I don't think we're going to need a blast furnace back at home, so it might actually be... Oh, why can't I take this down? We're missing the required crafting station. Is it a forge? Or is it a stone cutter? It might be the forge, you know. Chicken's doing fine. We already know why that's not working. So we'll just have to continue waiting until we actually get to the point where we can fix it. Oh, excuse me, I'm a little bit gassy this morning. Don't have any settling cores in here, there's only 3 and we need 5. This is, what are we going to do? Might just go hunting instead and leave the blast furnace for now. We don't exactly need the blast furnace just yet, so we'll leave it for now. We'll leave the one back at home base, and then we can always bring the settling cores over from that if we need it. One thing I've forgotten to build in our walled off area is a gate to get out, so we might actually have to use the route here to just climb over. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Or we could just take some wood and build it ourselves. That would also work. Now, I want to explore the areas that we haven't uncovered yet, because we've obviously explored the uncovered areas. But one thing I would say as well is that when you're exploring the Mistlands, especially due to the way that the Mistlands is generated, there's a lot of the kind of big mountainous bits. I'm just going to call them mountainous bits, because even though the fact they're not mountains, they are still very tall, and you still have to climb them. So I can't think of another word for them. So you have to climb over the mountainous bits, but because there's sometimes quite a lot of those mountainous bits, you have a tendency to miss things, I have a tendency to miss things. So even with the uncovered areas, I would still highly recommend fully exploring as much as you can, because you could, say, miss a dwarven encampment, or you could miss a black marble tower that you need to explore, because it was, say, hidden behind this big mountainous bit that you were climbing over and just didn't see it. Wow, that sap extractor's full already? Yeah, okay, so it seems to collect the sap the quickest when you first put it on the root, and then slows down over time the more you collect from there, and it seems to be about 40 or 50. Oh, hello, Mr. Seeker. Are you greeting us in our new base? We've already had your friends. Let's take you out, shall we? Oh, wow, the sword seems to do quite nice damage. Whoa. It's still resistant to the damage, but it was taking a lot of it. I reckon it might be fire. Possibly. It might not be fire, actually. It might be something else. Fire would make sense, because they're bugs. I mean, obviously their wings would be quite easily flammable, I would imagine. Oh, another route. Oh, fantastic. Right next to our base as well. This is brilliant. But I realised that it might not be fire, because obviously the greylings and grey dwarfs and brutes and stuff like that, they're all weak to fire, so it might not be fire that they're weak to. Maybe they're not weak to anything, and I'm just I'm just having an idea. It just seems to me that there are some creatures that don't have weaknesses, or they probably do have a weakness and I just didn't realise. So, like with the Yagluth fights, it took a knowledgeable commenter to point out to me that Yagluth is an undead creature. He's a skeleton, obviously, and that he's weak to spirit damage. And in previous episodes, when exploring, when I think we were finding some Surtling cores whilst we were on the mountain, and we had the Frostner hammer, we were hitting skeletons with the Frostner hammer, and they would have that green fire on them. That was the crit damage from spirit damage. So, makes perfect sense that that's a thing. So I'm just thinking that maybe every creature has a weakness. You just need to spend time trying to find it. But obviously we've done all of the types of physical damage, and the Seekers haven't been weak to any of them. They weren't weak to poison either, so maybe there's a specific point on the Seekers that you have to hit. Wow, another route. This is really beneficial. I'm also trying to stay away from the plains. I don't want to be there right now. We don't need any Blackveil scraps for now. Oh, hello. No, there's more plains. We will take this Yggdrasil route, though, because we do need some of the Yggdrasil wood. I can hear the cackling of a fulling. I'm just wondering if he's going to come out of the mist and attack us. It would be pretty cool that, say, for non-Mistlands creatures, so like fullings and stuff, if visuals for them didn't work through the mist. So I could hear them cackling through the mist and can't see them, and they can't see me. But then obviously if I start cutting down a tree or mining something, they would then be able to roughly tell where I am and start like wandering over. That would be pretty cool. I can definitely hear something cackling over there. I think we're just going to leave it. I don't really want to fight fullings right now. Oh, this is an uncovered part. There's no mist on this bit. There's a hare running around in the distance. We're going to leave that for now. Hello, Mr. Hare. We don't have the levels on our cooking stations to see what food we can make with your corpse, so we're going to just leave it for now. I think we actually got that. We might actually have a new upgrade piece from the black marble that we picked up. We'll have to go back and double check that. Or heaven forbid that I've already built the upgrade and just completely forgotten about it. That's also a possibility with me. I have a condition I like to call intermittent goldfish memory. It's not a real thing. It might actually be a real thing. I've never looked it up because it's not something that really affects me that much. But intermittent goldfish memory, which is basically every now and then I have really terrible memory, and I'll say something or I'll do something or I'll think to myself, I need to remember this, and then 3 seconds later I've completely forgotten about it, and it's not until several weeks later that I'm like, oh yeah, that thing that I was supposed to do or I was supposed to remember. See something running around in the distance. I think it's a hare with how fast it's moving. Seekers don't usually move that fast if they're not aggressive, sorry. I keep saying aggro, but I'm using World of Warcraft terminology. I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, stamina's running out, so we're going to have to let it recharge. Oh, we're sliding down, we're sliding down. Careful, keep the shield up just in case there's anything there. Oh, we're trapped on this route. Get off. Thank you. I can hear something through here. What is it? Is it a seeker? There's one thing I don't like about hares in the Mistlands, is that their kind of general squeak sound that they make sounds very similar to the sound a bug would make. So I hear them kind of screech, and then I think it's a seeker rather than a hare. I'm trapped in this area now. Need to get out. Come on. Sprint, little Viking, sprint! There we go. Oh god, the Mistlands. Traversing the Mistlands. No, my stamina's gone. Jumping and sprinting is the worst thing. Geared, you never know. what would be the greatest thing for us to have right now, considering we have to use all this stamina, sprinting and jumping everywhere. A specific boss buff that's specifically designed for that very purpose. Yes, we totally could use one of those right now. Hint, hint, future me. I will give you a little peek behind the curtain. I'm pretty sure at some point I do go and switch to the Eikthyr buff rather than using the Bone Mass one, because, yeah, it's just uber useful when traversing the Mistlands. There we go, we made it over. And we haven't found anything that we really want yet, other than a few roots, and we've cut down some trees. But one of the main things we are searching for is these black marble towers. They are... Depending on who's inhabiting them, they could be dungeons, which we desperately need to clear out. I'm trying to judge the drop of what's down there, because I really don't want to take too much fall damage and have to fight something and end up dying. Okay, I think we'll pause it here for now. So I'm just going to call the episode here, and we shall carry on our exploration in our next episode. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall catch you in our next episode.